Pisces, welcome. This is your 2026 horoscope and astrology forecast. This reading is especially significant for you because 2026 represents the closing of a very long chapter in your life, a chapter marked by emotional confusion, spiritual searching, and deep inner transformation. As you listen, allow yourself to relax. This is not a year that demands urgency from you. It is a year that invites understanding, relief, and emotional grounding. Not every word may resonate. Trust what feels calm and familiar in your body. That is your intuition speaking clearly again. Neptune, the end of a cycle and life regaining shape. For many years, Pisces has been living under the strongest influence of Neptune, your ruling planet. This has been a profound but often confusing cycle. Neptune has dissolved old identities, blurred emotional boundaries, and pulled you into periods where life felt unclear, uncertain, or directionless. You may have felt like you were constantly sensing something deeper, but struggling to name it, hold it, or ground it into reality. In 2026, this long Neptune chapter reaches completion. This is not sudden or dramatic. It is subtle, but deeply relieving. What changes first is not your outer life, but your inner clarity. Thoughts become quieter, intuition becomes cleaner. You begin to feel the difference between what is yours to carry and what never was. Many Pisces will notice that. Emotional fog lifts, decisions feel less overwhelming. You no longer feel lost inside your own sensitivity. This is the moment when spiritual lessons turn into practical wisdom. Saturn's influence alongside Neptune's closure teaches you how to protect your energy without closing your heart. You are no longer learning through confusion, you are learning through discernment. Pluto works gently beneath the surface, helping you release subconscious fears, old emotional roles, and survival patterns that kept you stuck in cycles of overgiving. 2026 is the year Pisces stops drifting and starts anchoring. Life begins to organize itself again, not because you force it to, but because you finally see clearly where you belong. For Pisces, the closing of Neptune's long cycle is not just an astrological event, it is an emotional milestone. Over the past years, many Pisces have lived with a sense of uncertainty that was difficult to explain. You may have questioned your direction, your decisions, or even your sense of identity. At times, it may have felt as though life was happening around you rather than with you. In 2026, this changes. What once felt like confusion begins to reveal its purpose. You start to understand why certain dreams dissolved, why certain paths never fully formed, and why some relationships could not last. This is the moment when Pisces realizes that nothing was wasted. Every experience refined your intuition, softened your heart, and prepared you to live with more clarity and self-trust. The fog lifts, not suddenly, but gently, and in its place comes a quiet confidence that you no longer need to search for meaning. You are already living it. Life begins to flow again. As Neptune's influence settles, many Pisces will notice that life begins to flow more naturally. Decisions no longer feel emotionally overwhelming. You feel more present in your body, more grounded in your choices, and more capable of trusting yourself. This is not a year of dramatic transformation. It is a year of relief. You may notice practical changes as well. Routines become easier to maintain. Emotional reactions soften. Long-standing stress begins to ease. Life doesn't demand constant interpretation anymore. You no longer feel the need to decode every emotion or sign. Instead, there is space. Space to enjoy, to create, to rest. Pisces enters 2026 with a deeper sense of inner order, where intuition works with reality, not against it. This is when life begins to make sense again, quietly, steadily, and in your own time. In love, 2026 is a year of emotional maturity and peace. If you are single, you may realize that past relationships were shaped by idealization rather than true compatibility. You loved deeply, but often at the cost of yourself. In 2026, that pattern ends. You are no longer drawn to emotional chaos, emotional unavailability, or relationships that require you to rescue, heal, or wait. Instead, Pisces seeks emotional safety, gentle consistency, a connection that feels calm, not consuming. Love may arrive quietly this year. It may not feel dramatic at first, but it feels real. If you are in a relationship, 2026 brings honesty and emotional grounding. You are able to express your needs without guilt and listen without absorbing everything emotionally. Some relationships deepen through this clarity. Others naturally fall away, not through conflict, but through recognition. This is not heartbreak. This is alignment. Career and finances 2026. Career and finances in 2026 reflect your growing self-worth. For a long time, Pisces may have struggled with undervaluing their work over giving without balance, choosing meaning over stability. In 2026, these extremes soften. You begin to understand that spiritual alignment and financial stability can coexist. This year favors simplifying your work life, creating structure around creative or intuitive talents, choosing consistency over emotional highs and lows. Money flows more steadily when Pisces believes they deserve security without sacrifice. This is not a year of reckless risk. It is a year of quiet rebuilding, step by step. As Pisces moves through 2026, this year asks for conscious participation, not drifting. What serves you most in 2026 is simplicity and honesty. Choose routines that support your emotional balance, even if they feel ordinary at first. Structure is not meant to restrict you, it is meant to hold you gently. This is a year to listen to your intuition but confirm it with reality. Take slow, consistent steps instead of waiting for signs. Protect your energy by choosing environments that feel calm and grounded. Speak your needs clearly, without apology. You are learning that clarity is a form of self-love. What Pisces is asked to avoid in 2026 is falling back into old patterns of escape. Avoid staying in situations out of guilt, nostalgia, or fear of disappointing others. Avoid over-romanticizing people, opportunities, or outcomes before they show consistency. If something feels confusing, draining, or emotionally chaotic, that is information. You no longer need to stay and figure it out. 2026 teaches Pisces that peace is not something you earn through sacrifice. It is something you allow by choosing what supports your well-being. When you honor your boundaries, life responds with stability. When you trust calm instead of chaos, things begin to align naturally. Final message. This year carries a gentle truth. You have already done the hardest part. The confusion taught you compassion. The uncertainty taught you faith. And now, clarity teaches you peace. You are not late. You are not behind. You were preparing for this grounded version of yourself. As 2026 unfolds, trust the calm moments. Trust what feels steady. Trust what no longer drains you. Life does not need to be overwhelming to be meaningful. Thank you for being here. Trust what resonates and allow the rest to dissolve.